If you have ever tried to lose weight by simply eating less and moving more, you may have experienced something confusing. At first, it seems to work. The scale goes down, your motivation rises, and you feel encouraged. But then, progress slows. Sometimes it stops completely, even though your habits have not changed much. That experience is far more common than people realize, especially as we get older. And I want to say this gently. This does not mean your body is failing you. In many cases, it simply means your body is adapting. Over the past few decades, many people have been told that weight management is only about calories. Eat less, move more, and everything will fall into place. It sounds logical, simple, and easy to understand, but real life rarely works that way. Because the human body is not a simple calculator. It is a living system guided by hormones, metabolism, habits, sleep, stress, and the environment around us. When we look at long-term trends, something interesting appears. In many places, average reported calorie intake has not dramatically increased over time, yet metabolic health challenges have become more common. This suggests that the issue is not just how much we eat, but also what we eat, how we eat, and how our body responds internally. For many years, the idea of calories in and calories out came from very real scientific foundations. Researchers once measured the energy in food by calculating how much heat it produced in controlled settings. From a physics perspective, this made perfect sense. Energy balance does matter. If energy intake consistently exceeds energy use, weight can increase. If the opposite happens, weight can decrease. However, the body does not function like a laboratory machine. It responds dynamically. Every meal you eat enters a hormonal environment, not a neutral one. And one of the most important signals involved in this process is insulin. Insulin plays a role in how the body stores and uses energy. After eating, especially meals rich in refined carbohydrates, insulin rises to help move glucose into cells. This is a normal and necessary process. But when insulin remains elevated frequently throughout the day, the body tends to favor storage rather than energy release. Over time, this can influence appetite, energy levels, and how easily the body uses stored energy. This is why two meals with the same calorie content can affect your body very differently. A meal rich in protein, fiber, and whole foods is digested more slowly, supports fullness, and creates a steadier metabolic response. A highly refined meal, even with similar calories, is often absorbed quickly and may lead to faster hunger and fluctuating energy. Another key factor that often gets overlooked is food quality. Highly processed foods are typically designed to be easy to eat, soft in texture, and very appealing to the taste. They often require less chewing, digest quickly, and may not create the same sense of fullness as whole foods. As a result, people may naturally eat more without intending to. This is not about willpower. It is about biology. When foods are less filling and more rapidly digested, the body's natural satiety signals may not activate as effectively. In contrast, meals built around whole ingredients, protein and fiber, tend to regulate appetite more naturally. Now let's talk about what happens when you significantly reduce calories for a long period. In the beginning, weight loss often occurs, but after some time, the body starts to adapt. Metabolism may slow slightly, hunger signals may increase, and energy levels may shift. This is a protective response, not a flaw. The body is designed to maintain balance and preserve energy when it senses a prolonged deficit. You might also notice feeling colder, more tired, or more preoccupied with food. These are not signs of weakness. They are natural signals that the body is adjusting to a lower energy intake. This is one reason why extreme restriction can be difficult to sustain long term. Many people then turn to exercise as the primary solution, and movement is incredibly important for overall health. It supports the heart, muscles, mood, and insulin sensitivity. But when it comes to weight regulation alone, Exercise works best when combined with supportive nutrition and lifestyle habits. Sometimes, when physical activity increases, the body compensates in subtle ways. Appetite may rise, or spontaneous movement later in the day may decrease without conscious awareness. Again, this is not a failure. It is simply how the body maintains internal balance. Another important consideration is how nutrition information has been gathered over the years. Much early research relied on self-reported food intake, which can be unintentionally inaccurate. People often forget snacks, underestimate portions, or misremember what they ate. This makes long-term conclusions more complex than they initially appear. For many years, the simplicity of calorie-focused advice was appealing because it was easy to communicate. But over time, we have learned that metabolism is influenced by far more than just numbers. Hormones, sleep, stress, food structure, and eating patterns all play meaningful roles. So, what tends to work more sustainably over the long term? First, focusing on food quality rather than strict restriction can be a powerful shift. Choosing foods that are minimally processed, recognizable, and closer to their natural form often supports better appetite regulation without constant tracking. Cooking at home, even a few times per week, can make a significant difference. When you prepare your meals, you naturally influence ingredients, portion balance, and eating pace. This often leads to more mindful eating and steadier energy. Next, prioritizing protein can be especially helpful, particularly for adults over 50. Protein supports muscle maintenance, promotes fullness, and requires more energy to digest compared to other macronutrients. Including protein in each meal may help reduce excessive snacking and support metabolic stability. Fiber is equally important. Foods rich in fiber slow digestion, support gut health, and contribute to longer-lasting satiety. Vegetables, legumes, oats, berries, and whole foods can gently support this process when included regularly. Reducing highly processed foods does not need to be extreme. It simply means becoming more aware of how often they appear in your daily routine. These foods are not inherently bad, but frequent consumption may make appetite regulation more difficult over time due to their structure and rapid digestibility. Another helpful approach is creating clear gaps between meals rather than eating continuously throughout the day. When eating is spread out with natural breaks, the body has time to return to baseline metabolic states. This may support better energy balance and more stable hunger cues. Sleep and stress also deserve careful attention. Poor sleep can disrupt hunger hormones and increase cravings for energy-dense foods the next day. Chronic stress may influence cortisol levels, which can affect appetite, fat distribution, and energy regulation. Gentle routines, consistent sleep schedules, and moments of rest are not luxuries. They are foundational habits for long-term well-being. Timing of meals can also matter. Eating very late at night, when the body is preparing for rest, may not align well with natural metabolic rhythms. Many people find that finishing meals a few hours before bedtime supports better digestion, sleep quality, and overall balance. It is also important to remember that calories still play a role. Long-term energy balance does matter, but calories are often the result of deeper behavioral and biological processes, not the only lever we should focus on. In simple terms, sustainable progress usually comes from working with your biology rather than against it. Nourishing meals, consistent routines, adequate sleep, regular movement, and lower reliance on highly processed foods create an internal environment that naturally supports healthier body weight and energy levels over time. Finally, I want to leave you with a reassuring thought. Weight management and metabolic health are not about perfection. They are about patterns repeated consistently over months and years. Small, steady adjustments often lead to more lasting results than strict plans that are difficult to maintain. Your body is not just responding to how much you eat, it is responding to the quality of your food, your daily rhythm, your sleep, your stress, and your habits. When these factors are gently aligned, the body often finds a healthier balance in a much more sustainable and supportive way.